You state a simple, innocent fact. Suddenly, the person you're talking to gets angry. They haven't reacted to what you actually said, but to a hidden meaning they invented out of thin air. This specific communication breakdown is called the illicit contrast fallacy. Unlike most logical errors in an argument, this one is committed entirely by the listener, not the speaker. Let's look at this diagram to see how the formula works. The interaction starts with the speaker stating a baseline claim. X is true of Y. The listener takes that baseline claim, improperly places unusual emphasis on a specific word, and invents a contrasting, unstated claim. They deduce that, therefore, X is not true of the exact opposite of Y. This violates the acceptability criterion of a logical argument. The listener is forcing a fabricated, confusing premise into the speaker's original point, rendering any conclusion drawn from it invalid. We see this pattern frequently when people make broad, emotional statements. Imagine a woman venting after a bad breakup, saying, "Men are insensitive brutes." Looking at this split comparison, the speaker makes a general claim on the left. On the right, the listener commits the fallacy by isolating the word men and deducing that the speaker is making a hidden claim about the sensitivity of women. The exact same logical error happens in highly specific institutional settings. A Catholic cardinal might issue a direct warning to his diocese, stating that it is sinful for priests to take advantage of young boys. Here, the listener isolates the phrase young boys, inferring the cardinal suggests it's acceptable to abuse girls or older women. But addressing a targeted problem doesn't comment on alternatives. He's condemning specific behavior, making no other implicit claims. Whether a person is venting emotionally or legislating specific rules, assuming an unstated opposite corrupts the original intent of the message. Let's test this with an everyday family dynamic. A father looks at his daughter, Cynthia, and compliments a dress she's wearing, a dress that used to belong to her sister, Diana, who is sitting right across the room. He says, "That dress looks very nice on you." Based on the formula we just mapped out, exactly how will Diana commit the illicit contrast fallacy? Looking at the father's exact quote, Diana responds, "Then you don't think it looked nice on me?" She manufactures a grievance by improperly accenting a pronoun in her head when her father was simply describing how it looked on Cynthia. Recognizing this pattern helps explain why so many interpersonal conflicts escalate. Listeners frequently invent tension that was never actually spoken. Once you identify the fallacy, you need to know how to neutralize it. How do you respond when a listener aggressively infers a contrast you never made? This checklist outlines our defense strategy. Step 1. Point out you never uttered the contrasting claim. Separate your actual words from their imagination. Step 2. Shift the burden of proof. Force the accuser to explain what context justified their interpretive leap. There is a critical nuance to your defense. Prevent the argument from spiraling into the unsaid topic itself. Step 3. Separate the claims. Enforce the logical difference between denying you made a claim versus denying its truth. Discussing the unsaid topic is a totally separate issue. This final diagram reviews the entire cycle. The speaker asserts X is true of Y. The listener fallaciously infers X is false of Z. Your defense is to stop the cycle and shift the burden of proof. By holding firm on exactly what was spoken and nothing more, you neutralize the illicit contrast fallacy and keep your arguments grounded in reality.